Nobody could say they didn't know what Hitler stood for before it was too late. He set his beliefs to paper in Landsberg prison in 1924. It became his book, Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. The book paints history as a struggle where only the strong survive. The German people, the Volk, were the superior race. At some point, they would have to force a final showdown with France. Then they would need to conquer land for the Volk, not in Africa or Asia, but in Europe. He didn't say it explicitly, but everyone knew he meant Russia. The Volk were united by ancient blood and tradition, but that unity was endangered by foreign races among them, specifically Jews. Jews used communism and democracy to make people equal, elevating the weak to the level of the strong. This weakened Germany and prevented them from taking their rightful place as rulers of the world. The book was a blueprint for the type of Germany Hitler wanted and the war and genocide it would require to get there. It sold 9,000 copies its first year of publication in 1925, then tailed off in the following years. It would rebound later in the decade as the Nazi Party became more popular. Hitler served 9 months of his 5-year sentence. He was released from jail to find that his Nazi Party had been outlawed. Worst of all for him, things in Germany were improving. Thanks to the Dawes Plan, where the United States loaned money to Germany, the German economy improved. Inflation was under control. There was no need for his revolution. The government was even confident enough to allow the Nazis to operate again, since they seem so irrelevant now. During this period, Hitler focused on improving his image. No more beer hall putsches for him. If he was going to take power, he would take it legally. He still had the SA, and they still had their thuggish reputation, but he added more layers to the party. He created departments of defense, agriculture, and propaganda. He reached out to intellectuals, women, and children. He established his own personal guards, the Schutzstaffel, or SS, led by Heinrich Himmler. If he ever became leader of Germany, he would have an entire organization behind him. And new people joined the party around this time. Gregor Strasser was a Nazi who was elected to the Weimar Republic's lawmaking body, the Reichstag. This gave him tremendous influence in Germany, especially since members of the Reichstag could travel on railroads for free. He was one of the few people in the party who believed in the socialism part of National Socialism, putting the power of workers first. At the same time, he was fiercely anti-Semitic. Hitler wanted Strasser to recruit members in other German states outside of Bavaria. He directed Strasser to open up Nazi chapters in the north of Germany. One of the new recruits he brought in was a PhD in language named Joseph Goebbels, who would end up being one of Hitler's most valuable supporters. Strasser wanted to rewrite the 25 points of the National Socialist Party to stress the socialist part more. Hitler feared that Strasser was challenging his leadership. Socialism might scare off potential big-money donors. At a dramatic meeting, Hitler forced Strasser to recognize him as the undisputed leader of the party. He would decide what National Socialism was. He was the unquestioned master of the party, the Fuhrer, or the leader. The party was becoming more organized, but it wasn't growing as fast as Hitler wanted. Germany underwent a sort of golden age during the 1920s. Loans from the US stabilized the economy. The Chancellor of the Weimar Republic, Gustav Stresemann, made peace with France and got Germany into the League of Nations. The city of Berlin was a center of culture, with jazz music and theater. The angry ideology of the Nazis just wasn't popular. Hitler accused Jews of bringing American jazz music into Germany to weaken its culture. He accused Jewish bankers of lulling the country to sleep with American dollars. He predicted this golden age would soon end. This was part of the incoherence of Nazi ideology. The Jews were both bankers in league with the wealthy and communists in league with the poor. They were both a weak race who accomplished nothing and a powerful race that controlled everything. His followers didn't care about these contradictions, but to outsiders, it looked like pure madness. And then, in October 1929, the chancellor who presided over this golden age, Gustav Stresemann, died. 3 weeks later, the American stock market crashed. American banks started calling in their loans from Germany. Then the German economy started to crash. The Great Depression was here. This, more than anything else, would make the Nazi Party relevant again. And the communists. As more and more Germans lost their jobs, Communist Party membership grew. There were communist gatherings in the streets. The SA came out to fight them. It looked like Germany was on the brink of civil war. The Weimar Republic had survived revolutions and counter-revolutions before. Could they survive it now? The main part of the Weimar government was the Reichstag, Germany's elected lawmakers. They were similar to Congress in the United States. The only difference is that the United States has 2 major political parties and Germany had dozens. It made it tough for them to agree on anything. The biggest party, the one that was in control from the beginning, was the Social Democrats, the SPD. They were firmly in the middle between left and right, which helped them hold the country together. In 1930, as the economy sunk deeper into depression, the Reichstag held elections. The SPD won 143 seats in the Reichstag, the most of any party, but not as many as they were used to holding. Coming in second were the Nazis, with 107 seats. This was a major increase from the 12 they held before. The Communists came in third, winning 77 seats after holding 54 before. This showed that the center was getting weaker. The right wing and the left wing were getting stronger. The Depression was splitting Germans apart. It made Hitler and the Nazis a major player in German politics. Hitler went out of his way to reassure the country that he and the Nazis were peaceful. The beer hall putsch days were behind him. He gave speeches to wealthy business owners where he made sure not to badmouth Jews for fear of driving them away. Many were impressed with Hitler's new good boy image, and they poured money into the party. Perhaps they saw in Hitler someone they could buy off and control. As a matter of fact, high-ranking members of the government had the same idea. Over the next few years, they would realize how wrong they were.